What is up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just going to be kind of going over the Cyberpunk TCG right now, a little bit of the recent updates, and just kind of talking about it before the chance for anyone who hasn't pledged yet to late pledge runs out. Admittedly, this video is probably going to be coming out a lot closer to the deadline than it should be, and there's no one to blame but that for me. So I would like to apologize to you guys for that first and foremost. I've had a couple of things going on in my life recently that have really needed my attention. So I have been giving my attention to that and haven't exactly been able to focus on this as much as I would have liked to. So my apologies for that. But with that being said, let's get into it. So first, mainly about the Cyberpunk TCG, is that with the late pledges now, if you do choose to late pledge, it is going to cost a little bit more than it would have if you had pledged during the initial campaign, or rather while it was still going on. And the big thing is that that's really just led to a bit of an increase in tier prices. So you can see here, just with the common cyber decks, it was $49 during the campaign, but now it has jumped up to $52, which $3 increase isn't exactly the most. It is a 6% increase roughly, so not exactly the biggest change. The quick hacks, or one booster display, was $169 during the campaign, and it is now $175, which is a 3.5% increase. And then the Netrunner starter kit was $349 during the campaign, and it is now $375 if you would like to get that now, and it is a 7.5% increase roughly. And the Street Cred pack, which is kind of probably the end of what most backers in general are going to be getting, has jumped up $35, technically $36 dollars, or rather specifically 36. But you know, you get kind of used to rounding up the 0.99, or at least in my experience I have. So that will be a 7.2% increase for that tier. And then with the Padres Blessing tier, it was at $999 during the campaign, now $1,035, and that has been an increase of 3.6%. And then from that point onwards, it just stays the same, with the Afterlife package being $2,799 during the campaign, unless they've changed this graphic, which admittedly I did not check before, as it would seem odd if they changed this one and not all of the other ones. But as you can see, $2,799 as well, if you choose to back it now. And then if there are still, which it looks like there is at least some, Night City Legend options still open, and that price is also the same as well. There are currently 19 Jackie Wells ones left. Imagine, there are 81 Male v Street Kid ones left. There are 64 Goro Takamura ones left. And no Smashers, no Rebecca's, no Lucy or Lucina Kushida, no David Martinez's, no Judy Alvarez's, no Pan Am Palmer's, definitely no Johnny's. So if you want to get the Night City Legend tier, the only options available to you still are the Goro Takamura one, the Male v Street Kid one, and the Jackie Wells one. But like I said before, if you've waited this long to pledge, or just kind of wanted to wait and see kind of the whole landscape, then you're probably, at least in my opinion, going to be backing the Netrunner starter kit or the other $500 option of the Street Cred pack. And personally, I don't want to say affordable, but it's definitely kind of the more accessible tiers, which will, at least for the Street Cred pack, come with 3 displays, the 2 starter decks, the dice, and the beta box. And for the Netrunner starter kit will be the beta box, 2 displays, and a pair of starter decks. And a bit of a recent update that's come out, starting out with update number 38, because this is more relevant, and I'll backtrack to 37 later on. But yeah, this was a week ago. As you can see here, late pledge on Kickstarter ends May 1st. So if you're seeing this, definitely look into it pretty quickly, because pretty quickly is how soon this opportunity is going to close. And then they really just show you all the beta box contents here with the legends, and then the special Nova Rare treatment of Lucina Kushina, the playmat, the 2 100 Dragon Shield sleeves there, and then the metal female V Street Kid there, 1 free set beta booster, and then that's all in the beta box, as well as whatever you're getting with your tier that contains the beta box as well as 4 mystery legends that we don't know yet, even as of this later recording date. They have not revealed any of them yet. My personal guesses are they'll be either Edgerunner cards, so a Lucy legend, possibly a David legend as well, probably Rebecca, and then 1 more, which I'm currently unsure of. In my head, it's probably between Mr. Hand. It's probably Mr. Hands, at least in my opinion. Or I really don't know. It could be Sasquatch, possibly, of the animals. Maybe like Wakako, but those are my thoughts right now as to it. It could be really anyone. But an important part about the legends here is the only thing that is going to be unique about them is their foiling. It's a Kickstarter beta box exclusive foiling for these legend cards, except for Lucina Kushina, who's a Nova Rare, and a Nova Rare is a promo card. So you won't be able to pull it in packs. You'll only be able to get it through the Kickstarter like this, or possibly winning a tournament at your local game store, or probably attending Pro Tours sometime in the future. And then, yeah, as you can see here, they go over it. The 4 new legends added to the box, but they haven't revealed them. As they've said, they'll review them in the coming weeks when they're ready to showcase them. Who do you think will join us in our crew of legends? And if you have any thoughts, comment them down below. I'd love to hear your ideas. I personally don't know. Obviously, no one really knows yet, and I'm sure we'll all kind of find out at about the same time. And then as the update goes on, they move on to other stuff, like their Cyber podcast that they have. It's their official podcast, and this is the one episode that I would recommend most that you listen to so far, because they showcase down here, they brought in their head of game design, Richard Zapp, and it's just kind of interesting to hear him kind of go into the choices, or like a bit of the process, and like their thoughts going through it. And I mean, it gives you a little bit of a peek behind the curtain as to the process, and it's just pretty interesting. So I would recommend you listen to that, maybe on like a drive to work, or if you just have a little bit of free time and you're, I don't know, playing Minecraft or Cyberpunk, you just pop it on in the background, and yeah, it could be pretty interesting, pretty insightful. They also have art reveal spotlights for their Maman Brigitte and Max Tax Squadron cards, and then a community spotlight to KP Cyberpunk with his What Now video, which is also pretty good. And I would also recommend that you watch that if you have the free time too. A little bit of community discussion's been going on recently as well about whether the retail boxes are actually going to be a bit more than the Kickstarter beta boxes, or displays rather. And it's a bit interesting. Obviously, we don't know how many retail boxes they're going to ship out. We don't really have any information on that. We can't exactly predict the future. We don't know the numbers behind Cyberpunk and the Cyberpunk TCG, or just that in general. But I'd recommend you also look into that a little bit. Definitely, if you're still hesitant, and you have been hesitant on this, and you want to wait to see how it plays out, and I think the retail display boxes are a pretty good way to see how it all folds out before you decide to invest and get into this game. But with the late pledges, and kind of turning back onto that, we will move back to update number 37, the one before the 38th one that I was just going over, and the only other one to cover since kind of my last video coming out on the Cyberpunk TCG. And then this one is mainly a bit more financial wise, just pledge over time, pledge manager, late pledge, just a bit more informational than I guess promotional, you could call it, with going over the beta box contents. This one is really just a bit of an FAQ. When will the pledge manager open? It will open on May 2nd, after the late pledges are closed on May 1st. And the pledge manager is really just going to be more the financials and kind of getting down to the nitty and gritty. So that'll be like where you pay your taxes, where you finalize kind of where you want the cards to be shipped out to. And then you'll also get a backer kit survey if you got any accessories, or if you got a tier with accessories in it, where you can decide which ones you want. The only item that's been called into question as to the quantity of it is the sleeves. And at worst, they will ship out a bit later than all the other ones. I don't know who gets priority or how that works, how priority works. But they've said that they will get them shipped out by at the latest Q1 next year, instead of Q4 this year, when the accessories in general are going to be shipped out. But also a little important bit for pledge over time. As soon as you make your final payment, that's when you'll gain access to your pledge manager and the backer kit survey. That's just more of a Kickstarter thing, they've said. And I don't really know if that affects your priority as to the accessories, and if some are going to get delayed, whether that falls onto kind of the timing of when you paid, or just that in general, because I don't work there. I'm not exactly an employee of Weirdco or Kickstarter, so I don't have the finer details there, and that's just something that you're going to have to look into yourself, and maybe kind of gamble on the decision of. But if you are late pledging, then pay or pledge over time, it will not be an option. And if you'll just have to kind of pay it all at once if you're doing the late pledge route. And then going back into the update and the other questions, how can I upgrade my pledge and / or add more optional buys? And that'll also be made available to you through the pledge manager, open on May 2nd again. How do I select the accessories I want? You'll get it from the backer kit survey post May 1st. So not specifically saying May 2nd, but will likely be May 2nd when that comes out. How do I provide my shipping information on the same backer kit survey, where they'll collect your address? When do I pay for delivery and taxes, VAT, etc.? You'll pay for delivery and taxes once you filled out your backer kit survey. What about if I use pledge over time? You'll gain access to the pledge manager and your backer kit survey once you have completed your final payment, approximately June 18th or possibly later. If that is kind of when you get back into it, which should process and go through June 18th. You should be able to get access to the survey on that same date. But maybe if you're just away or you don't check, then you get access to it later. Can I pay the rest of the balance of my pledge over time to access the pledge manager early? The answer to that is no. Kickstarter support may be able to help, but we can't assist with any payment processing. So you're pretty much just locked into your option that you chose initially. Can I change from pledge over time to one-time payment or vice versa? Which is a little bit of the same question. Answer is still no. Kickstarter support may be able to help out, but we can't assist with any payment processing. Are late pledges still eligible for stretch goals? Yes, they are still eligible. These stretch goals will apply to each different pledge tier, no matter if you pledged first day or if you pledged on the last day of the late pledge chance to do so. And then they have an example. All backers from the Netrunner Start Kit from Night City Legend tiers receive a beta box, and all pledge tiers from Commons Hybrid X to Night City Legend will receive the 4 Nova Rare Legend cards, non-foil and foil Lucy, foil David, foil Rebecca, and foil V Street card. And that's really it. If you have a bit more specific questions or questions past that, then I would recommend that you get into the Cyberpunk TCG Discord, and there's a Ask Game Devs channel there where they're pretty responsive, and if not them, a mod or just another member of the community that is at least decently knowledgeable. A mod or dev will likely still chime in if they need to. So yeah, if you have further questions, I'd advise you to take it there, because at least to my knowledge, that's where you can get the quickest and most direct kind of response. But if there's other ways, like just, I don't know, posting a question under an Instagram post or like a YouTube video, then that could work all the same. But yeah, that is really it. I personally am excited for this. I hope you are too. And I hope it turns out well for you, for me, and for everybody, all of the 50,509 backers. And yeah, that is it. I hope you have a nice rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching, and see you next time. Peace.